was having an interesting conversation with a mate just yesterday about the importance of finding mentors, because reality is, if you're looking to do something, achieve anything really, the quickest way is always going to be to find someone who's done something similar to what you want to achieve in the past, and then basically get advice from them and copy what they've done. But the problem with that is, when you're just starting out, you obviously don't have much to offer in terms of value to other people. So it's a hard situation because you want to be able to talk to these people and get advice, but you don't necessarily have something you can give them in return. So it got me thinking about how there's kind of three things I keep in mind, because I've had this issue myself a lot where I want to get advice from someone, but I don't necessarily have anything to offer in return. So first thing I keep in mind is, don't go for like the very top person that you're trying to get advice from. And what I mean by that is, if you're like trying to get advice, like say business advice from someone, if you try and get a meeting with say Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos or someone like that, good luck getting a meeting with one of those guys. It's just not going to happen if you're just starting out on the journey. So it's better to find someone who's maybe like one or two steps ahead of you. So they're still ahead of you and can offer you good advice, but they're not like so far ahead that they're impossible to get a hold of. And you should still like look at what those top people are doing, because they've obviously made it to the top for a reason. But in terms of actual people you can reach out to, it's always better to just go that one or two steps ahead of where you are, because you're much more likely to get a response. And the second thing is, you may not have a lot to offer initially, but find something that you can offer that is of value to that person. So if you're at the stage where you can't necessarily offer like services or like advice to them in return or whatever, there's still things you can do for them. Like a good example is, I wanted to meet this guy James Swanwick, who basically he started an online business, took it from 0 to 1 million in sales in 9 months, and I wanted to ask him a few questions. So the way I was able to reach out and connect with him was basically, he was coming to my hometown in Melbourne, and I offered to give him a lift from the airport. And so as a result of that, I was basically able to have a 40-minute conversation in the car with him and pick his brains on some stuff. So it's just stuff like that, like being a bit creative, finding something that solves a problem for them. And the reality is, like, anyone can literally give him a lift from the airport, but the fact that I actually just took the initiative and reached out to him, he was willing to sort of meet with me at that point. So that's another thing. Just find, even if you don't think you have anything to offer, there's always something you can find if you're a bit creative. So that's number 2. And number 3 as well is, if you are reaching out to someone and you want to get advice from them, actually like come up with a specific question that you can ask them, or specific topics that's relevant to them. Because reality is, like, if you just reach out to someone and you just ask them like a generic question like, oh, how do I succeed in business? It's boring for them. Like, they're not going to actually answer your question. Like, they're not going to like really want to help you, because you haven't put any effort into the question you want to ask them. And it's just like one of 10 million questions that they get asked all the time. So an example, like, again, using James Swanwick, who I met a while ago, when I was asking questions, I got specific questions. So I was saying, like, you grew your business extremely fast from like 0 to 1 million in sales in 9 months. Like, what are some things that you think contributed to that? So it sort of shows that I know about his situation. I'm not just like spamming him along with 1,000 other people. And when you show that sort of initiative, that you're actually like interested in that person, they're a lot more likely to give you a response and give you some of their time. Because that's the thing, like, people, they do want to help. Like, people are often generous, and they feel good if they give you advice and they help you, but they just don't want to waste their time. And if you're kind of just like asking generic questions and not really putting the effort, there's just no value to them. So yeah, just a few a few things I keep in mind that's worked for me in the past when I've tried reaching out to people for advice. So hopefully that helps a bit as well. But yeah, that's about it. Hope that helps, and I'll talk to you soon.